Manhattan City Commissioners are set to meet for the final time in 2024 tonight. We'll decide whether to give incentives to a project to redevelop the Commerce Bank building at 8th Street and Points Avenue. Officials from Hartfield LLC are requesting up to $15 million in industrial revenue bonds and a 10-year property tax abatement to turn the downtown building at 727 Points into a retail and residential space. If passed, the ordinance would allow the developer to pay taxing entities a total of the roughly $2 million in the 2024 value of the building over the next 10 years. When commissioners discussed the possibility of it back in October, Commissioners John Mata and Jamie Minton favored it. Commissioners Peter Opelt and Karen McCullough had concerns. Meanwhile, Mayor Susan Adamczyk was absent from that meeting. Tonight's meeting will get underway at 6 p.m. in City Hall. Former K-State President Dwayne Acker died on Friday at the age of 93. His family said he had a long struggle with cancer. Acker was the president of the university from 1975 to 1986. He followed James McCann and was succeeded in his position by John Weefald. In his tenure, Acker established the Provost Program, united the women's and men's athletic programs as one department, raised money for Bramlage Coliseum, and oversaw the football team's first postseason bowl game in 85 years. According to his obituary, he was particularly proud that K-State students received as many Rhodes scholarships as Harvard and Yale students while he was in office. During Acker's presidency, officials approved construction of Bluemont Hall, Throckmorton Hall, the Chemistry and Biochemistry Building, and a major addition to Weber Hall. Acker is survived by his two daughters. A memorial service is set for 2 p.m. Wednesday at Schmidt Family Funeral Home in Atlantic, Iowa. It will be live-streamed and recorded. Riley County Commissioners Monday agreed to pay an engineering firm for work on the new EMS headquarters after previously rejecting a revised contract that more than doubled the estimated cost without prior notice. The county hired Caw Valley Engineering to perform material testing and inspection for the construction of the building. However, installation of masonry was time-consuming, resulting in extra on-site inspections and tests. Commissioners on November 25th rejected the increased cost because KVE officials didn't tell them in advance the price would jump. However, on Monday, they did approve an agreement amendment to pay for work completed and billed to date. County Public Works Director John Ellerman.
Before, the estimated cost of the whole project at the beginning was $12,729. Previous estimate to finish out the whole project, the concrete work and everything else at the end was about $28,000. We worked out where Randy offered to finish the work out as planned.
By-hand masonry work required more inspections, most of which have been completed at this time. All that's left for KVEs to do is to inspect and test the preparation and placing of pavement on the site. Once the rest of the inspections and testing on the project have been completed, the county will pay to KVE the full current outstanding balance of $9,864. Average weekly wages for Riley County in the second quarter of this year are just below $1,000 at $978 per week. The data, which was acquired through information compiled by the Bureau of Labor Statistics in Washington, D.C., shows that Riley County's average weekly wage is below the national average, along with 99 other counties across the state of Kansas. Only Shawnee, Wyandotte, Sedgwick, and Johnson counties have wages above the national average of $1,390, along with Coffee County. Surrounding counties in the region also have similar average weekly wages for the second quarter. Pot County workers saw an average weekly wage of $972, while Geary County saw a weekly average wage of $966. More on the day's headlines can be found at our website, newsradiokman.com and themercury.com.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for adults with migraine with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents, on average, 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Ask your doctor and visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
K-Man's Morning News continues with a look at your sports headlines. Good morning, I'm Troy Coverdale. Having played only once in the past 2 weeks, the K-State men's basketball team hits the floor tonight in Kansas City, matching up with an unbeaten Drake squad at the T-Mobile Center in the Wildcat Classic.
Their offense, they have one of the slowest pace in the country. They use about 21 seconds, a little bit more than 21 seconds on offense. And then they do a really good job of keeping you out the paint, right? They do a great job of covering elbows and blocks and playing with their chests and being in the gaps. And so that we have to play complementary basketball also. We got to make them play defense for a long period of time.
Jerome Tang's team, though, hasn't played since losing at St. John's 10 days ago.
We've just focused on the bookends, transition defense and rebounding, and then buy-in. It's a blessing to be here, right? It's not a right, and just that like we need more buy-in. You know, I felt like we made progress.
Tip-off tonight in Kansas City at 7. Coverage on News Radio KMAN and 101.5 K-Rock gets underway at 6. Last night, teams from the Big 12 in action. Texas Tech dropped Oral Roberts 86-50. TCU handles South Alabama 58-49. For a third straight week, the K-State women's basketball team is ranked 13th in the AP Top 25. The Wildcats, with just the one loss this season, and continue to hold their spot in the poll thanks to a win over Middle Tennessee State in St. Joe. It closed out a week on the national scene where Notre Dame jumped 5 spots in the poll thanks to a win over UConn. The Irish are now number 3 behind UCLA and South Carolina. UConn checks in at number 4, LSU 5, Texas, USC, and Maryland then follow. Duke and Oklahoma round out the top 10. From the Big 12, Iowa State fell out of the poll after dropping a decision to Iowa last week. TCU is at number 12, 1 slot in front of the Wildcats, who are then followed by West Virginia at 14. Those 3 teams are the only Big 12 squads in the women's poll this week. Oklahoma State last night dropped McNeese State 92-41. Arizona over Weber State 87-66. UCLA continued its stellar play on the campaign. The top-ranked team in the country blew out Cal Poly 69-37. High school basketball tonight in the area. Wamego hosting Chapman. Rock Creek will be at home, tangling with Marysville. And Riley County's boys and girls visit St. Mary's. 9 days out from the Rate Bowl between K-State and Rutgers, and Scarlet Knight running back Kyle Monanganai is still mulling the decision whether he'll play in the game on December 26 per multiple reports. Like K-State's DJ Giddens, who declared for the NFL draft last weekend, Monanganai is projected to be a day 3 pick in the April draft after finishing the season as the Big Ten's second leading rusher. He was a first-team all-conference selection in what will be his final season at Rutgers. The Rate Bowl updates from Phoenix on News Radio KMAN and 101.5 K-Rock get underway on Monday morning. Bowl season resuming tonight with the Frisco Bowl kicking off at 8. West Virginia takes on Memphis in the night's only postseason tilt. The Kansas City Chiefs and quarterback Patrick Mahomes have not confirmed yet, but a source tells the Associated Press that the quarterback has a high ankle sprain. His status for this week's game against Houston remains in question. Mahomes was hurt when his ankle was rolled up on as he was tackled by the Browns' Dalvin Tomlinson on a 4th down play late in the Chiefs' 21-7 win Sunday. Mahomes limped to the sideline and Carson Wentz played the rest of the way in his place, but the 2-time MVP insisted afterward that he would have lobbied to play had the Browns gotten to within a score. Coach Andy Reid and the quarterback are expected to meet with media members today following a practice session in Kansas City. Saturday, the team tangles with Houston at noon. Coverage at 11 that morning on News Radio KMAN. Off the field yesterday, the Chiefs waived running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The 32nd overall pick in the 2020 draft ran for just under 1,900 yards while scoring 12 touchdowns in 48 games over 4 years in Kansas City. He had not played a game this season. K-State men's basketball tonight with coverage at 6, the tip-off at 7. The Wildcat Classic in Kansas City, pitting your Cats against Drake. The game this afternoon gets underway at 4 at News Radio KMAN.